I'm just going to wait. Hopefully this will work. Okay. Right, I've got one person live. I've had a nightmare again. This damn live chat thing don't work properly on this phone, I swear. Can you, if you're in the live, can you just put a chat in there? Yes. Thank you, Shane. Oh, finally. Absolutely infuriating. I don't know what seems to happen here, whether it's YouTube or whatever, but it's really, really bloody annoying. I do a live. Hi, Adrian. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you guys coming in. It's very frustrating when you're trying to do a live show and things don't quite work technically. As if probably me. I bought a new stand thinking I could do it, and that don't do a rotor. I'm like, oh, give up. So I'm going to get that sorted. I'm going to go through a few things, but anyway, let's get into it. Martin, good evening. First of all, I'm Mike the Fisherman. This is Fisherman's Bluez. Please look if you've got friends. I like any fans from other clubs. Please join, subscribe. If you're a Town fan and you like my content, subscribe. Click the like button, and I'm going to go for 50 likes again. I got 50 on my last one, which I did from the bank. I did a pre-recording, and it went quite well. So I'm really buzzing. And how can we not be buzzing? Let's get into it, yeah? Let's get into it. We're in your head. We're in your head. Nunez. Let's be honest. How good was that? I went to the game. I didn't go with my brother. It was a bit too windy and cold for him for that day. But we went, I took my son Josh, and I have to say, the atmosphere before the game was fantastic. Look, I've given Blue Action a little bit of stick because I mean some of the lads are a little bit nappy, aren't they? But look, they've done a really good display, and it was nice for the coaches. Evening Dean, how you doing? When we're giving it all the large and we win, it's brilliant. But if we don't, it's a bit like. But let's be honest. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into the game of all games this season. So previous to this, obviously we'd won both our home games, and we had a bit of a we'd drawn a game. And look, we weren't playing particularly well, and I was really annoyed. I'm not going to lie. And I was like, well, look, if McKenna doesn't win, if we don't win this game against Norwich, I was like calling for Ken McKenna's head. And I'm not joking, I was. Because I was getting a bit flustered, getting a bit, people say I lose my head too much and stuff like that. Well, okay, that's fine, I get that. But we weren't playing well. We haven't been playing well all season. However, the Norwich game, that was a bit tasty, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was spicy before the game, spicy after the game, and spicy during the game, I felt. There was always that when is Nunez going to come on, probably second half, just for a change. And like I say, I think it was, great sort of atmosphere leading up, and then the game gets going. And I just kind of felt a little bit that the crowd got very nervous, very sort of, what's going on here? There's a lot of tension around the fans that I was with. I was nervous. My boy was nervous, and I can imagine most of the fans were nervous if they're honest fans. And Dean, don't get too carried away, he says. Borough away next. Well, look, do you know what? you're right. We can't get too carried away, but my God, I had enough of Norwich fans. 16 years, 16 years, Norwich, all that crap. With no disrespect, right? Yes, we haven't beaten you in 16 years, but I don't think I don't think we were in the same league for you for about 6 of those years. So go with yourselves and let's look at the record. Destruction derbies. I think we've had where we've scored 4 more goals, where goals of either team have scored 4 or more against each other. I think we're on 6, and Norwich have had 1. Our trophies alone and all that. Anyway, let's get on to the game. So game kicks off. O'Shea was a bit oh dear. First 3 touches, first 3 passes, gave it away to opposition. Does worry me about him. I'm not a great lover of O'Shea. I think his heading the ball is great, but his passing is somewhat shambolic. And there was times in the second half with Palmer. O'Shea weren't offering himself properly. It was very sort of schoolboyish type the way we were playing, and the crowd could sense it. Everybody was getting on their backs, and rightly so. Hence why towards the end of the game, Palmer was getting rid of the ball, playing it long, playing in the channels. Fine, get over it. Love it. But so we're playing. They had a few moments where they were a bit on top, but we had the corner, and there's Kipray or Cypre or whatever you want to call him. Cypre, chest. Somebody say handball. Some people say, look, if it was in the Premier, it would have been given as a handball, but I didn't see no handball there. I think it may have bobbled up onto his hand, but I mean, if they're going to give that, then it's ridiculous. So I got my cat in trying to sneak into the drawers. And then, boom, back of the net. We're jumping around with limbs everywhere. And rightly so, because Town fans have had enough of it. We've not beaten Norwich and we haven't beaten them. And then it's great, brilliant, whatever. So I'm thinking in my head, 5 minutes, just give me 5 minutes. And let's see, and we can see how we're doing. So what happens? Oh, my days. I mean, look, the most annoying thing about their goal, right, was the fact that we had all the players in the box and no one picking up the players on the edge of the box, which was really frustrating. And for me, it was you should have picked him up. And it hits Matissira on the way in, deflected, goes in the back of the net. Norwich fans are throwing limbs all over the place, along with their little snakes they brought along, their rubber snakes for Nunez. But, and of course, limbs, everything, and we're like, here we go again. Dean says, not for the goal, but he's got to keep his place. I think Sargent's still in his back pocket. Well, I think if I'm honest, Cypre got home, emptied his jeans, and Sargent fell out. I genuinely mean that, because Sargent was Cypre had him in his pocket all game. I mean, look, let's be honest, Sargent's a very good player, and if we had the opportunity to sign him as well, I think we should, because he's a very good top championship player. So, Norwich were lucky to keep him. And I think, like I say, you're right, absolutely right. Cypre's laying on the bottom of the bed of Cypre's bedroom after coming out of his back pocket. So anyway, of course I get their goal, and we're huffing and puffing. We're still making little mistakes in certain areas where we're giving the ball away a little bit, not enough sort of battling. I'd like to just really battle a bit more, but it was a good first half, and then Philogene. I don't know what to say really, because he came here. There was the information that was relayed to me that he didn't want to come here. He wanted Champions League football with Villa. He didn't want to come to Ipswich, but Villa sold him to us. We bought him. He was injured every time, and when he got fit, when he played, he looked awful. Dean says, I'm eating humble pie still. Nothing wrong with humble pie, mate. long as it comes with a bit of custard, I don't care. But I mean, look, Norwich, one of Norwich midfielders headed it towards his player, gave too much of the ball to show to Philogene, got the ball, and oh my days, boom. Absolute brilliant, corking, superb, out of this world goal. And Philogene's been on fire of late. What's that, 5 goals now? And that was a pick that out, and I love Julian Tooks there. Hi, hello buddy, how you doing? And it was limbs everywhere. I mean, you know, the stewards were genuinely worried. They thought all the disabled fans at the front row of in the South Ramsey were going to run on go on the pitch. That was how worried they were. But it was brilliant. It was good. I think there's a Town in 5. I'm on there giving it the I think for literally 2 seconds or something like that. I've been sent the still by a load of friends and stuff, and it made me laugh. It made me chuckle, and I think that and it's and then we go in the break 2-1 up, and I just felt I didn't feel threatened by Norwich. They didn't offer much. There was times when their passing was half decent. You could see they've been together for a while, the team, but there was no end product. I mean, Cypre was just outstanding. Man of the match for me, I felt, and he's got to keep his place. Not anyone that can keep Josh Sargent quiet keeps his place for me. Like I said, I've not been impressed with Greaves, but the only downside is you've got 2 right footers as centre backs, and I do like a left footer and a right footer, but it is what it is. But Cypre sits. Shane Griffin says tracking back and tackling is also much better. I have to agree. Dean says agree. Shane must have had a kick up the arse before he was shocking. Great when we played against him at the Hawthorns. Yeah, he was actually a very good player, and obviously McKenna realised that and thought, right, let's bring him in. For me, he's a nailed-on starter now. He has to keep his place. We are now starting to that horrible word that we all hate, gel. Matasiwa is getting better and better every game. And against Pompey, we were brilliant in the first half, and then we were shit in the second. However, we were good in the first half against Norwich. We were just brilliant in the second. And obviously Nunes comes on. That was brilliant. Last Norwich player to come to us was Marshall, and Andy Marshall. I mean, like, wow. And the old Norwich Way fans are chucking their snakes around and all this lot, and giving him. I mean, he's going to get pelters at Carrot Road. But it is what it is, He's made his feelings clear to why he wanted to go, because he felt a better chance of. Okay, look, let's catch up on some of these things. Right, okay, so where are we? Clark is looking a lot better too, says Shane. Julian says Justin, but that Philogene kiss to the arrogant fan base was superb. I have to agree. My Heritage says, evening Mike, I moan about things only because I care so much about the club. I feel that Norwich game could have been a massive turning point in our season, and the atmosphere near the end was electric. Adrian says Clark is showing his class. My Heritage, I have to agree. I think that we are starting to now. I know that we're probably a little bit overhyped because of the Norwich win, but Nunes comes on, and what a vision! Just a little dink onto Azon, and look, I felt for him. I thought if it, unlucky not to score, and there was Clark. The thing is with Clark, he was on the left-hand side of that play, and by the time Azon went through and they hit the post, and Clark finished. He was in the box, and that's what you want. That's the best you get out of Clark. You know, we've got some good players, and I see something today about our bench is frightening. A fully fit bench is frightening. Our bench and our strike and our force across, across the team really is very good. It's just whether McKenna can get the best out of them. And when you're not doing well and the pressure's on us, I do lose my head. And I'm a town fan. I want the best for us. My good friend Cruncher gives me absolute pelters sometimes. If you've lost your head, Nick, and maybe he's right, but it's only because I care so much about this club. Had my way, I'd go to every home game, every away game. And I just, unfortunately, with my job and that, it's hard for me to do that. I mean, all the podcasts, Kings of Anglia, Blue Monday, Talking Town. There's a new one now where the Town Walk, and obviously Richard with Suffolk Crunch. There's a lot of good podcasts out there, and right now every one of them was buzzing after that game, and it's good, And I think if we look back at last weekend, or not last weekend, weekend 4, when we won 3-1 against Norwich, it was such a relief for the fan base, because we're just sick and tired of hearing what they've got to say, because that's all they have. They don't have much else, do they? Let's be fair. So, but, end of the game, we're buzzing, the players are buzzing, Nunes has grabbed the corner flag, waving it around, and everybody's happy. So, anyway, let's go to the chat. What we got here? Julian says, hopefully a stronger position if we did go up. If we did, we've learned. Shane says, once Mods and Akpom score, they will get going too. I have to say, okay, so Yusel, hello, I'm 48-year-old man from Somalia. My name is Bankara. Sorry for my bad English. I sold my wife the internet connection. Watch YouTube videos. Honestly, appreciate it. Anyone from around the world can subscribe and whatever. This is not about me making money. I'm not sponsored by anybody. If anybody wants to sponsor me, they can. But I'm not. Look, it's nice, and I think So Norwich game. Let's be fair, brilliant. And then of course we get a bit of a surprise this week, don't we? We get 2 surprises. Let's talk about them. I want to see the chat about this, because let's talk about the first one. The first big surprise for me was Jack Taylor getting a new contract. Look, Jack Taylor is a good player, but is he a Premier League player? Is he a player that is going to get you to the Premier League at this level? I don't think so. I think he's 27. I think he's being wasted at Town. I think he could probably go to a high-end League One side and do well there. Maybe a lower league Championship side and help them. But for me, it was a bit of a surprise. Have we extended his contract to make money or to get some money back for him? Possibly. The one thing you can't fault with Jack Taylor, and I suppose you with any of the players that have played and left and gone, you're always going to get 100%. So, it's difficult, isn't it? Shane says it's to sell him on later. Yeah, I think that probably is the case. I think, look, Jack's probably, 4th choice? Then you got probably Humphreys, who's 5th. He's another player. What happens with Humphreys? Cam's a player. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, what we got here? Julian says, cover for Matasiwa, S-cards, and injuries. Probably cup games. I think he'll probably play in. Mimsy, as a Millwall support, I got you guys to go up. Joe Watt, I love Millwall fans. Some of them are Millwall fans from old. Look, you years ago, you go down to Millwall, you knew what you were going to get. You're going to get some trouble, and that is just what it is. but they're passionate fans. You know, good fan base, real passionate, hardcore fans. So you know, it'd be yeah, got a lot of time for Millwall, and thanks for that, mate. I appreciate it. Shane says, "Be nice to see a player happy and committed to the club." But nice to see a player. Sorry, I read that wrong. Shane says, let's read that again. But nice to see a player happy and committed to the club. Absolutely agree. I tell you what, Gillian says, Mimsy, Sam Morsey, you won't be far off. Do you know what? Yeah, I think, look, Sam's with that club now, isn't he? Look, you know, what's stopping him going back to one of his old clubs? I mean, you got Chesterfield. He could go down to and be with old Paul Cook. I think that'd be a good move for him. You know, the players got the utmost respect from the Ipswich Town fan base. Brilliant captain. And you know, look, Premier League was just a step too far for him, but you weren't going to get less than 110% from Morsey. So Morsey for me will always have a special place in the town. Yeah, and again Luongo. Yeah, Luongo's doing well. So you know, I think in all honesty, it's nice to see players that leave go on to do well and stuff. So Jack Taylor, that's the one thing, and then the really strange one. Okay, so McKenna, right, manager of the month. For the first time in my life, cannot agree with that. Cannot agree with that whatsoever. It might be because, but Lampard. I mean, what he's done with Coventry. I'm not a great Lampard fan, but my God, you have to give him some credit with Coventry. They got like a plus 20 goal difference. I know it's early and it's, you know, it's, you know, there's plenty more games to play and everything, but you have to give them a little bit of sort of them. And I mean, Middlesbrough started off well, but they've dropped a few games, haven't they? I think Birmingham started off on fire, and they've had a bit of a free fall, haven't they? And then obviously Coventry, they started a bit rough, and they're starting to get together now. I mean, Sims and oh God, I had them all in my head earlier. The Coventry side have all done, you know, the players they've got there are done really well. So that for me would have been the obvious manager of the month. You know, Auckland QPR manager, I think he's done a fantastic job down there. Again, something myself and Cruncher both agree with. So it was a bit of a strange one that McKenna got it. It feels a little bit political, but who knows? Who knows? So they're the two things more than anything. And then there's one I just thought of actually. Came through my emails, or one of my, not emails, came from my WhatsApp from a friend. Kieran McKenna linked to Rangers. I mean, I can't see that. I'm sure McKenna's a Republic of Ireland type of. I think he's born in the Republic of Ireland. I might be wrong, but so why would you go to Rangers? Celtic, I could probably see, but he's never going to Rangers in a million years. So that we'll put that one to bed now. Dean says get one for the Rangers soon. But yeah, so there's a lot to be cheerful, and it is, you know, it's brilliant because I speak to Norwich fans, and I've been off work for 2 weeks, so I'm going back to work tomorrow, and I haven't seen my Norwich fan who works there, young lad. He's an avid Norwich fan. So I'm looking forward to giving him some well overdue stick, and I'm his manager, so he can't do a lot. No, bless him. But yeah, so that's looking forward to it. Other than that, we had the England game. I mean, how bad was the atmosphere at England? I mean, that was poor. I see what Tuchel's saying, but what do you expect? You know, it's Wembley. It's not like it used to be, you know? There's a lot of Paul Sandwich Brigade go there now. Load your car up full of tissues. You need them. So I mean, how poor were Wales are? I mean, we talk about sort of national side and that, but Wales are pretty poor, and I do feel that we need to keep our calm where the England team's concerned. There's players that I'm not been that impressed with them. So let's see where we go with that. I think we play Tuesday. Do you know what? Absolutely, Julian. Totally agree. There's a lot of prawn sandwich brigade in the Prem. The sad reality is that football's priced out the working football at top flight is priced out the working class man. You know, how many people at our minimum wage can afford to go to a Premier League game? Not many, unless you've got no, especially those who've got families or got kids. So it's very difficult for anyone. I mean, most season tickets are in the Premier League are like £1,500 more now for especially the top flight teams, your Arsenal's, Chelsea's, and all that. So unless you're a single man or a single lady and you want to get a season ticket, yeah, you could probably do it because you haven't got no overheads. But if you're a family man, you ain't getting season tickets to go there because it's just hard. It's really hard. Not just the price of the season ticket, the price of travelling. Most away fans that go to the Ipswich games are probably burning £100 without their ticket. So football's become very expensive. I think any sort of modern style, really popular sport has become like that. Golf has always been expensive. That was pricey. I'm a carp angler. Let me tell you, season tickets for some syndicate lakes are £2,000-3,000 for the top lakes. So, it seems if you've got the money, you're going to do well. But if you haven't got the money, you ain't going to get on them syndicates. So it's just like it is, and it's a shame. Another plus note this weekend. My boy scored for his local side. My boy Jake and Daniel, both of them play for AFC Mildnall, so big shout out to them. If you're about, or if you're on social media, Facebook, AFC Mildnall, give them a follow, please. They've had a bit of a shaky start to the season. They haven't won a game yet, but they got a nice draw at the weekend against a good side. So JJ says, "Oi oi!" But Jake scored the equaliser, which is giving him a lot of confidence. And he is a confidence player. And like I said, and the lads they're working hard, and that's the main thing. So I like to talk about every different thing here. I've given you 28 minutes. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes, people. So other than that, there's not much else to really talk about. Other than Kieran McKenna came out and obviously supported Nunes for his actions. Talking about Brentford. Am I talking about Brentford? Why would I need to talk about JJ? Enlighten me. Have I missed something there, bud? Brentford. What am I missing out on there, mate? So other than that, good win. Everybody's happy. Everybody's buzzing. Right now, I know there's a few people I'll probably watch this later because you've got Littler and 2 Lukes, haven't you? You've got the 2 Lukes that are playing tonight in the final, so in the darts. So I'm sure there's a few people watching that. I'm rooting for Luke Littler. I think the lad's ridiculous sometimes with his darts. He's just incredible young lad. Will he ever break Phil Taylor's record? I don't think so, because Phil Taylor for me is probably the best ever darts player ever to grace the darts arena. But that's mixed with some very, very good players. So, but for me, folks, get applying for the Norwich manager's job. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me. You'd have to pay me. You'd have to give me a Bristow. Absolutely. You'd have to pay me £10 million signing on and then £10 million a day just to manage Norwich. That's how. Nah. I'd go up there and deliberately mess it up. That's how I would. I'd do that job. Go on, no chance. My boy played for Norwich Elite, and bless him, Jake, because the Ipswich at the time was Ipswich Academy wasn't very good. So top live, mate. Subscribe for the future. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. I'll always give you honest. Always give you straight up. I love to talk about my club. I love to talk about football as a whole. So any other fans want to come on board, have a chat, ask any questions. I've gone over the 2 minutes I said I was going to do. But I think, it's nice to have a bit of a laugh, bit of banter, have our say, me have a chat, you guys in the chat as well. I'm going to sort out this poxy. I don't know what it is, right? So I plan to do a live, put it out there. I do the live and the chat goes missing. And yet, everything is set up normally as it would. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm not technically minded. But as for this live, thank you guys. Appreciate your time. Let's turn that place into a car park. Nah. Let's turn it into a swamp. That makes more, fill it full of crocodiles. But lads and ladies that maybe have watched this, appreciate your time. Appreciate you subscribing. Like, subscribe. Gone for 50 likes. I've been the Fisherman. We beat the Budgies. We're all buzzing. On to Middlesbrough. Let's put the sword to them. And hopefully, next time I do a live, I'll be just as happy as I am now. He's in your head, fans, Norwich fans. He's in your